Welcome to Lauren the Solution Live, the podcast. I am back with episode 2. And this episode is really special to me. You guys, I have a very special guest. She is a scientist to start. However, I want to give her a grand introduction because I met this woman through my DM on Instagram. And unbeknownst to me, I was very shocked, surprised. And when she came in my DM, I told my friend, like, y'all, it's a queen in my DM, literally, because of who she is, and we're going to get into that. However, she has been a blessing to my life, to my business, and you don't find many women that really outreach to other women and truly, genuinely help and support them. So I can never repay you or thank you. So I like to give people their flowers while they're living because,
thank you.
You know, you need to be recognized as while you're living. So this interview is very intentional, and it's going to be about science, intention, legacy, and unlocking human potential. So with no further ado, I welcome Dr. Kara Dentley. She is a scientist, a mother, woman of God, entrepreneur, just all around well-rounded woman. And I love you, and I thank you for coming to sit down with me.
Thank you so much, Lauren.
No problem. So we're going to get into who Dr. Kara Dentley is. A Baroness, Dame of the Royal Order, and what is that?
So the Royal Order is the oldest royal order that it has been established. And it's philanthropy, it's service. You have to be actually, I wouldn't say nominated. You have to be, someone within the order has to recommend you to be a part of it based on your works, based on your service. And it's global. And it's all about chivalry and giving back. And so when my husband and I were approached, we were like, oh, wow. Seriously?
Right, that's big.
It is. And it's an honor. It definitely is an honor. We do not take it lightly. My husband is a baron. I'm a baroness. And it's just one of those things that you don't hear about too often.
Right.
You don't. And when I decided to say, okay, I knew the impact that it would have on people that have my background.
Yep, that look like you.
That look like me.
Yep.
That, that did not grow up knowing the intricate details of any royal order.
Yeah.
And so part of what we get to do is serve on a higher level. And not only that is to be a part of a network that's global. That's what it is all about.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've been knighted by the Prince of Spain.
Nice.
And he actually came here, Prince Raphael. And it's just been just a beautiful experience that we bring even the knighting investitures themselves here in the United States. And we've even had them in Chicago so that people who live in Chicago can actually get that experience where you actually have the swords and the scepters and it's
so amazing because I'm telling you, when I saw that, I'm like, wow, it's a real queen. Like, you have the sword, you have the crown on, and rightfully so, it's deserved. You and your husband are great people. I've adopted myself into your family. Y'all my auntie and uncle. And I tell everybody about you guys because you really have a genuine soul. So for someone that looks like me and grew up with similar backgrounds to you and I, how can they become a dame of the royal court? Where do you start?
Well, one, they could become a part of the monarchical chapter. And that chapter is, it's a part of the royal order. It's not part of the court just yet, but through the service, through the monarchical chapter, they can actually become knighted.
Nice.
So it's being able to spread the message of what we do, which is actually to serve women and children. That's a huge part of it. So because of the different outreach initiatives that we have, someone could participate in that way. And then someone in the order may say, hey, you know, this person should be knighted. They deserve it. And there are different categories that a person can get knighted in. So one of which is like business, philanthropy. For me, it was for science because of my research.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty interesting because you don't see a lot of people that look like me that do that.
That's a scientist. That's correct. So I have a mystery going on right now on my social media, and I just told everyone I'm sitting down with a scientist. And no, it's not Mariah the scientist. It is a true scientist from just like you and I, for those who are watching, and it's amazing. So give us a little background on how you became a scientist. Where did you start? How did all of this come about?
I love that question. It was just the curiosity of just why. And I think I personally, I'm biased. I feel like everyone is a scientist because we just have the world at our disposal when we come in here just with the questions of why. You see children, they're natural born scientists. And you see it, they see a puddle, they want to splash in it. If they see something, they want to take it apart and see what will happen. They want to try to put it back together. You know, they do and that's why puzzles are so good, right? They see patterns and pattern recognition. And that was one of the things for me as I was trying to navigate the different career options that were ahead of me. One, I started out, I was like, I want to be an attorney. And I think I would have been a good attorney. But I saw the movie, and just to be quite frank with you, I saw the movie Devil's Advocate. And I remember at the end of the movie just bawling. Like I sat in the theater. I did not get up immediately. And it's like my heart was just so into the movie. And at that time, I didn't know that you could be different type of attorneys. I didn't know that even existed. But I didn't want to be a criminal attorney because I was like, your job is to defend. Criminals. Right? Criminals. Right. to prove without a shadow of a doubt that they're innocent. And I was just, and so I kind of made a pivot at that moment. And in my book, I talk about it, and it's an inflection point when something is going a certain way, and then there's a pivot. You take a U-turn or a detour, and you go in a different direction. So with that, I went into engineering. I attended Chicago State University, and they did not have a full engineering program. So from there, after your 2 years, you would either go to UIC or IIT. And at that time, I was already heavily engrossed in physics. So my professor, he said, maybe you should do physics. And I thought about it. I was like, I really like physics. I enjoy it. I enjoy the questions of physics. I enjoy seeking the answers. And I was just like, why not? And I'd already been a part of the Society of Physics Students and Sigma Pi Sigma, which is a physics society. And I was just like, why not? Right. And I would go to these different conferences, and I would not see anybody that looked like me. And I was like, that set me apart. And I always just wanted to know, well, if this, then what? Right. So that's what started me on my journey with physics. And then I went on, received my physics degree, received scholarship offers, scholarships. Just every time I turned around, I was receiving scholarships to do the thing that I enjoy, which was just seek. I became a seeker of information.
To find those answers.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. So as a Baroness and a former Department of Homeland Security professional, how do you remain grounded in family and carrying such major responsibilities? Because you did at one point have a regular job.
I did. I did. And I enjoyed every moment of it. And I believe that you take one day and one moment at a time. Sometimes we just try to go at life with everything, and as it's coming at us, it feels like we're almost drowning. Right. If you don't take a step back and say, wait a minute, what am I doing? Right. Is this aligning with what I want? Right. Like right now. We're not talking about, and I had to teach myself this, we're not talking about next week, next month, the next lifetime, though, whatever. That may or may not come, but what am I doing right now that will ultimately lead me to my goal? And am I enjoying it? Am I having fun? I feel like you should. Yeah. I think that what we're experiencing now is so many systems are pretty much, they're collapsing. Yeah. Not that they didn't serve their purpose, but right now we're finding a different way. Right. So when I was juggling all of that, going to work every day and having my son and, being married and had my parents and all of these different things coming at me, being a part of different organizations, I had to take that pause. Am I doing this for me, or am I doing this because I believe that other people believe that I should do this? Right. And some things had to fall away.
Yeah.
They had to fall by the wayside, including people.
Yeah. And it's for the better sometimes.
Yeah.
So speaking of your son, how has motherhood shaped your perspective on leadership and purpose?
Oh my God. In so many ways, because we think that we're the leader, that we're only supposed to provide, like as if we're supposed to only tell them what to do.
Right.
And these children come here equipped.
They know already.
I feel like every generation is prepared for their generation.
They are.
And sometimes they're teaching us different things of how to navigate to help them to become the best version of themselves for the life that they're designed to live. And they're assigned to us and we're assigned to them. Mm-hmm. So being a mother in leadership, I've learned that I can learn from him too.
That's right.
And I think that when we feel like when we shut children down, we miss out on a huge opportunity of just knowledge and learning because they come here with so much.
Yes.
And it's so beautiful.
I have a 5-year-old and he has so much to say.
Yeah.
And it's like, my mom always said, never silence him. Don't silence him.
I love that.
But some days I'd be like, all right, now, it's a little silence. But no, he speaks and, he asks questions, and which is a good thing. So you homeschool your son.
Yes.
So what lessons behind being a homeschool mom apply to your personal growth and your self-governance?
The beautiful thing about homeschool is that you don't have to do it any particular way. And that's what I realized, because when I first started, I was like, we have to get up at 8 o'clock. And I was still operating within the system.
Right.
And I was like, and we have to do this and we have to do that. We have to do what they're doing at school. And I was like, if I'm going to do what they're doing at school, we might as well send them to school. But everything is school. Everything is education. It's not within the confines and the constructs of that we've been taught, but everything is a lesson.
Right.
And there are some things, and I just remember there are just a couple of instances in different conversations that I've had with my son that led me to this conclusion. And every child is different, right? Some children feel like, no, I want to go to school. And I remember my son asking this question. This was around the time of COVID. COVID kind of shook the atmosphere for everybody. And he said, Mom, I want to know what it is that I need to know from my life.
Right. School don't teach you that when you go in them buildings.
And this baby was, at that time, he must have been about 9.
Wow.
And I was like, what do you need for your life?
Intentional. Very.
Very intentional.
Very.
And I was like, he's like, because, like Larry's Magical Carpet Ride, I think that was the book, something along those lines that he was reading at the time. And of course, there are fairy tales and all of this stuff. He was like, I don't see how that's going to help me with my life. Right. And he was so serious. And I was like, wow. And he would say different things. At that time, it was some things that was going on with Russia and Ukraine. He would come and tell me about it. I was like, did you learn that at school? He's like, Mom, no, they don't talk about stuff like this at school. Yeah. And he was telling me different things that they were saying at school that that wasn't in alignment with the principles that I was teaching at home. And I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, and enjoy it, yeah.
Yeah, and this was coming from a child.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? You get it. Yeah. I said, let's go. And like I was telling my mom the other day, I said, when I tell you I did all the education that you could possibly do, even when I was in high school, I went to college in the evening. Yeah. And I was like, of all the things that I've learned, most of it I would never, ever use.
Yeah, it doesn't apply to real life. And they don't tell you that. I went to real estate school, and that's when they was like, you're going to learn all this, spend days, hours, months taking this test to pass this board. You're never going to use any of it.
No.
But that's the benefit. Like, you're providing that extra knowledge for your son that the schools, unfortunately, don't teach.
You have to be boots on the ground. You have to physically do it. Which is
amazing. And doing all that, being able to homeschool your son, and you got a chance to write a book. So what inspired you to write Unlocking the Blueprint of Intention?
Sometimes we kind of stumble through life, and people just kind of throw things up against the wall and just hope that it sticks. Yeah. And they're not intentional, and they don't understand that everything that you do affects something else and someone else. Because part of what I understand about energy It's real. I mean, everything is energy.
It is.
And it's boundless and it's timeless. I can do something right now. Everything that we're doing right now affects the next generation. And so when you understand that every move that I make, I have to be intentional. So I started to realize that there were different scientific principles that just apply to everyday life. And many people, they shy away from physics. They don't like science. Oh my God, I hate science, because they've had an experience.
Right.
But when you start to realize that these are principles that are applied to you, and if you don't know them, they will work against you versus working for you. And if you understand them, you will move through life differently. So I wanted to write this so that I can apply these principles and have that as part of the book, but also tie it into real life, real world situations, so that people could say, wait a minute, this is why this is happening like this. Like, I need to, right, I get it. Like, that was the whole thing. I want to unlock it because it's already within you. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know, but now it starts to make sense and it connects. Right. It starts to resonate. There's a scientific term.
Right, because normally sometimes people just need to put things in perspective of their own lives. So what does governing your greatness look like in action, like in work, relationships, or in health?
I would say that when it comes to everything, when it comes to health, I always tell people just one way of looking at it is that the body is the greatest love story ever written. Your own. How you treat it. Yeah. At what you put in it. What you allow around it. What you allow on it. Yeah. So that's being intentional. That's governing your greatness. I remember, and I mentioned this in my book, you may not remember, there was a brand called Used. Okay, right. Okay, that was it was a brand called Used. It was a brand called Damaged. Damaged. It was a brand called Exhausted. Yes. And I remember wanting a pair. Mom, I want to get some used jeans. And my mom said, she just went all out. Yeah. Like, do you just want any labels on you? Yeah. Are you used? I would never forget that conversation. Yeah. And she just went all the way there. Are you used? Are you damaged? Are you exhausted? And I was like, no, they're just clothes. Right. It's just like, they're not just clothes. Yeah. There's a message. And I just realized that, okay, if I'm going to wear a message, it needs to be one that is uplifting, empowering. So being intentional and ungoverning your greatness, that applies to health, that applies to your relationships. Your relationships affects the blood in your body. No one talks about that. Like, you can actually pick up somebody's cortisol levels. It's cortisol contagion. You could be in a house with somebody, they're stressed out, now you're stressed out. Yes. And it transfers to children too. Yep. And so all of these different things, and I'm like, people need to understand that to unlock your greatness, like, you have to operate with such intention that when you're in those moments, when you feel like your back is up against the wall, what are you going to do? You can't be just right now in the moment where you're impulsive, because the thing that you say, the thing that you do will supersede that moment. Yeah. So sometimes we do get a little flustered. We're in the middle of something and someone calls our name and they're like, hey, I need you. And you're like, what? Yeah. Like, I'm busy. Like, I'm focused. But if you are intentional and you communicate that clearly to your family to say, hey, look, in the next hour, don't disturb me. Yeah. It's an understanding. Right. And so even with raising my son, I've been so intentional. I've kept my finger on the pulse, just completely, because I understand that if I do it right on the front end, I don't have to worry about it on the back end.
That's right.
So I'm looking and I'm making sure that I'm not missing a beat. And every area and every phase of your life requires a different version of you.
It does.
And so I understood that when I was go girl before I had my son, I'm out, and I'm not just out in the club kicking. That's not what I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm traveling, I'm busy. I'm at meetings. I'm doing all of these different things. Yeah. And then I just remember him just coming and laying across my feet. This was when I was working full time. And he was just like that was the time that he had to spend with me because I was so busy. Yeah. And I was like, he need me. Like, I don't want to look up and be like, where did the time go? Who is this kid? Yeah. And he's looking at me like, who is this lady? Right. My grandma raised me, Yeah. So I was like, no, I want to have that installation. So now he's like my biggest cheerleader. Yes. And he's like, Mom, go, Mom. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing a podcast. I'm doing an interview. Go, Mom. Like, he's all in. That's amazing. Because I give him his time. So if I'm like, no, I can't do it right now. And even being a wife, sometimes people go into relationships unhealed.
Yeah.
They go into relationships with the issues from their last relationship.
And now you got to carry that person's trauma and repair them. And
it's cellular memory. Like, it's not just in your brain. It's in the body.
Right.
Right? So, yeah, that's unlocking your greatness.
That's amazing. So when you say governing your greatness, what does that mean, like, on a practical level?
That means understanding that who you are is already encoded within you. Mm-hmm. What many people think when they think that they're confused or they're lost, they're never confused or lost. They're distracted.
I agree.
They're distracted by the things that other people have in store for them.
Right.
And sometimes you just have to set the record straight. Now, you see it with the greats, the greats. Like, you see it with the Beyoncés of the world, you know, that their greatness was able to shine early on because they were able to find that gift and that talent.
Right.
And they had the parents to push them. You see it in Tiger Woods. You see it in, you know, the Williams sisters, you know, that early on, and it's in us. And if you just pay attention, you'll see that greatness come forth. But so many times, you know, you're healed. Even like with Elon Musk, he said, I want to put a car out of space. And some people felt like, boy, really?
Right, like, come on. But look what's happening.
Right. And I'm sure there were teachers that was like, that's impossible.
Yeah.
But his mom was like, baby, you could do whatever your mind can believe it can do. Like, you came in here with that idea. Let's make it happen. Even if she thought it was absurd, she supported him.
That's right.
And that's what I mean by unlocking your greatness. And you need to be around people that help you unlock your greatness.
That's right.
So important. Because there's room for everybody to grow and win and learn.
It really is. And I think you truly do understand that, given how we met. And it was a true blessing to Posh, to my business. And you helped me on a whole nother level that I didn't realize I needed. And every time I've ever encountered you, it's like you always give me this hug that I didn't know I needed.
Oh.
So I know that you really truly live by what you're saying, and that's important to me, because some people would say, "Oh, I wrote a book," and it's like, I don't see you living by the book, but you talk what you walk. So you walk how you talk. So that's amazing.
Thank you.
For someone who is living without intention, what are the warning signs?
Oh, the body response. Pay attention to your body. If you're in spaces that you don't feel growth, that you don't feel seen, that you don't feel heard, that and it's not even surface, like your body is responding in a certain way. Sometimes sickness will set up because it's like tension. It's not being deliberate. It's not being intentional. And sometimes people around you don't have the capacity. Yeah. And it does not make them bad people. And this is what people need to understand. If I know that I'm in spaces where my body is responding that is not equivalent to my elevation and where I see my future, it does not make them bad. It doesn't mean I have to go and talk, hey, Lauren, did I tell you about it? Right. It's not even about that. Yeah. Because I might have to be the forerunner. Yeah. I may have to be the example so that they can see me go and say, wow.
She can do it, I can do it.
She can do it, I can do it. She said that's what she was going to do. Yeah. And I've had people call me and say, I remember when you cut everybody off. But it wasn't that. I just kept moving. Yeah. I realized that the conversations weren't the conversations I needed to have. Right. I'm like, what are we doing? And it didn't make anything bad. And you don't want anybody to feel like, oh, you think you're better than us. No, I think we're better than what we're doing. Yeah. And I feel like there's another level for all of us. Yes. And if I can't bring you along, I have to go.
I have to leave you.
Yeah, I have to keep it moving. Like space shuttles, they shed the extra weight.
That's right. So what moment in your life made you realize that intention wasn't just a mindset, but a blueprint?
When I started to understand that it's already encoded in your DNA. Because you see it with people that you give the liberty to. And I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. I always reference my son because he is just like one of the most intelligent people that I know. I asked him, I said, do you think some people have too much freedom? Like, because we've been taught that, growing up, the parents had the rein and you sit down and go over there. And I said, you think, that you have too much freedom? And he stopped for a minute and he looked, he said, what's too much freedom? Very philosophical. And he was like, I think that's some of the problem with some people, that they're not allowed the liberty to just be free.
Right.
He was like, and then who gets to decide?
Right.
And that was so impactful. And then I started to look at not so much from a child's perspective, because when you give them the freedom to just be free, they don't rebel. They're not being slick. They're not being sneaky.
They're honest.
They're
open.
honest.
They are.
They're able to walk in and live in their purpose. And if anybody should be there for them, it's their mom and dad, parents, grandparents, the people that love them. Yeah. So that when there are things going on, they don't feel like they're alone. Oh, I can't share this. I can't tell you that.
And they have somebody to go to.
They have somebody to go to. Yeah. So when he asked that, I was like, that is so powerful. And I started looking around even at the world. I said, some of the problems that people deal with and some of the issues because they feel like they don't have the freedom. Yeah. And you have someone else saying that's too much freedom. But what is too much freedom?
Dictators.
Dictators.
So how can business owners or entrepreneurs use principles in your book to lead better or grow their team stronger or their business stronger?
Because they'll see that, that's a very good question. They'll see that there's one body and many members, right? So Aristotle said the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So when we're working together, I'm seeing the best in you, which correlates and help with the best in me and the good of the order of the whole team. And that's scientific. So of course you could operate in the silo, individually independent, right? I can operate individually independently, but if you understand what each person's intention is and what they want for their life, then you want to pull out the best in them. You want to put them in the best position to win for the whole team, because we're going to the top together. Because the whole is greater than the sum of the parts.
Yes. And people, they do have this vision that, I can get to the top by myself. I don't think anyone can make it alone in the world. I'm a firm believer of that. And I always think that, I know that God wants us, if he puts you on, reach back, help somebody else. So I'm a true believer in that. And I know you are too, because you've helped me. So what advice would you give someone who feels stuck in survival mode and can't feel intentional yet?
You have to change your environment. That is so key. I can recall when, and I know that everybody just can't uproot and just move, but when you go into certain communities and you unlock and you see certain things you can't unsee. Right. And so I believe in having access. And, I always wear my keys because I believe that access is everything, but you always have access. Yes. And sometimes you have to see certain things in order to unlock that access. And so I will go into certain communities. I grew up on 79th Street, right? So it was certain things that I saw that wasn't conducive and in alignment with what I saw for my future. So I would just take long drives and drive in different areas and communities, and I couldn't unsee what I saw. And I said, if they built these houses, they built them for somebody, and I'm somebody.
That's right.
So if someone is stuck, you have to get out of your environment so you can see something. And other people who have not seen what you have seen, because then it starts to leave a seed. In you that you can't deny. And all you need then is to allow it to water. And that's why we do our events. We're always having events because we believe that everybody who is meant to be in those rooms needs to connect with somebody else in those rooms. So we invite people like, hey, you need to meet this person. You need to meet this person, because we have a global reach. Yes. Through the Royal Order, through so many different connections that we have a global reach.
You guys are definitely international, and going to your events, I can say, was very inspiring. And it's very motivating. And what I also can say is the whole room had nothing but tremendous things to say about you. And I've never even met those people. I didn't go in there name dropping like, Dr. Kara personally invited me. They invited me. They just naturally sat down and started to speak about you. And that blew me away. And I'm like, wow, everybody that I spoke to, Dr. Kara is my mentor. Dr. James Dentley is my mentor, and it's all positive things. So I know that, you're really moving with pure intention, and the world needs you.
Thank
because I know it's a lot of women that are empowered, and not all women genuinely want to help the next young woman. Because I've been in many positions where women approach me, oh, let me help you, and then it turns into, I want you to do good, but not better than me. But that wasn't the case with you, and it literally took me by storm. And I don't know if you remember, when I first met you, I was like, oh, I have a podcast studio, which is here. It's been here for 2 years. That was 2 years ago, but it's finally here. Thank you. But it's just like, because speaking with you, dealing with you and Dr. James, and seeing how truly intentional you guys are in all of your meetings, and it's just amazing. And I wish that, more of I know you're international, but the world needs to see you and hear you.
Thank
you.
If
you could sum your book up with one sentence, what would it be? Intentional. And I love it. And how can we find this book and purchase this book?
So it is available on my website, lifebykara.com.
Which is what you're wearing. I love the outfit.
What I'm wearing.
She's always fashionable.
Part of my brand. Have to represent. And they can also find it on Amazon. So if they search my name, or if they just search the title, they'll find it.
I'm going to actually put the link in the video on YouTube. So you guys, the link will be there for your social medias and your book, so that they'll be able to purchase the book, because I think everyone needs to move on intention. And I say that too about social media. If I didn't have all these businesses, I wouldn't be on social media, because I try to protect what I put into my mind, because if not, and that's why I've never watched reality TV, and people are always surprised, but I have never watched Baddies House. I
wouldn't even know.
Yeah. For one, it's too much drama for me.
Yeah.
But so you also have this hula hoop back here, because you are a health guru, and I haven't hula hooped in years. So can you tell us what this is?
Yeah, so this is my own branded hula hoop. It is weighted. It has these acupressure nodes that have magnets in it. It helps with balance. It helps to trim the waistline. And what I've realized is, as you get older, all of that running, box jumps, and all of that, sometimes your joints just not in agreement with that.
Right.
And so with this, you still get those, you still get the exercise of those micro movements with your hips and everything, and it helps to tone you. And so, and you're having fun, and it's nostalgic, right? And so to get to a place where you're like, wait, I'm working out, I'm having fun, turn on my music, I could do this just a few minutes per day, and it's exciting. I remember when I was talking to a group of ladies at the place where I was getting my brows done, and they were like, what are you doing? Like, you look so good. And I was just like, well, I hula hoop. And one of the ladies, and she was a little older, she said, now hula hooping, now I would do that. Now all of that, going to run and all of that, but and jump rope, but I'll hula hoop. And I knew then, I was like, okay, business, right? That's how we're always thinking, because we want to solve a problem and fill a need.
That's right.
So I was like, okay. So I had a different one prior to creating my own, and I was like, no, I want my own branded colors. I want my magnets shaped a certain way. It was so many different things, and then I reached out to a manufacturer, and it's taken off ever since. So they can get it out at lifebykara.com.
Nice.
And it's just a fun way to get with your friends and hula hoop.
I always see you having a good time with this, and I'm like, oh, this beats Zumba and Pilates, because I just can't get into that. But this is amazing. So what made you go the journey of doing like the health route, fitness?
Because health is wealth. You have to, and that's another thing. If a person is feeling stuck, you have to move. I mean, there's so much going on in the world. People are experiencing so much loss, right? In different ways, and they're trying to cope, and they're trying to maneuver and get through life. And some people, honestly, like, we see who's online, but there are people that are just in the bed, that just feel like, I can't go any further. You have to get up. You have to move the energy in your body, whether it's just walking, whether it's hula hooping, whatever it is. Get moving. Like that is your everything. Your body is your love story. And there's a quote that that I often think about, that it says that nothing records sadness as graphically as the human body. And so when people experience trauma, a lot of times it is stored in a cell. And if you're not moving, you're not able to move that energy around and out of your system. So you want to stay moving, even when you don't feel like it. Even when you don't feel like it. And your body will thank you for it, because if you're just sitting, a body in motion stays in motion, but then inertia will set in, which means that there is no movement, so there is no movement.
Right.
Right. So,
but that is why you are aging gracefully, because your age to me is still a mystery and never tell. But every time I see you, I always say, I'm like, wow, like it just makes me want to work out, which I'm struggling to do. One, and then just really be intentional with life, no stress, who I have around me, because again, it definitely is. Everything has to be intentional.
Yeah, you just don't give it meaning.
Yeah.
You know, I've learned that in so many things, sometimes we try to find meaning, we try to define it. Just sometimes your body is saying not right now.
Yeah.
And even with people sometimes. And when you're thinking about working out, that's your body's way of communicating with you. We have to pause long enough to hear our body speak to us. So when we're like, oh, I need to work out, but I don't feel like it. At that moment, say, I'm going to do something.
Yeah.
Even if I just do a few sit-ups, even if I just walk in place, even if I walk around the block and come do something in that moment. Like you have to start the process. So even if it's like a 2-minute workout, I applaud you. You know, whoever it is out there, you may be thinking like, I don't feel like working out. But every day that you don't move is another day that you don't move.
Right.
Right. And so you want to serve your body, because as you get older, your body will serve you back.
That's right.
So those 2 minutes will turn into 10 minutes. Right. And then it turns into 20 minutes. And then before you know it, you're like, okay, I get this. And you start seeing results. You start getting excited.
Right.
Right.
And that's the fun part, when you see the results. So for young women like myself and any other aspiring entrepreneurs, current entrepreneurs, what advice do you have for them that they can take away from this interview?
Oh, man.
Because being an entrepreneur, it's hard.
It's hard if you say it's hard.
True.
Right? It's all about mindset. And you get to do the things that you do. Right? It's a blessing to be alive. You know, we say it's hard. Oh my God, I got to do this, I got to do that. But most of it is what we're doing.
And what we want to do and what we enjoy doing.
We asked for this.
We did.
I asked
prayed for it.
For the growth, you know, and the expansion.
Yes.
You know, you ask for that. And then when it comes, it's like, oh my God, I have so much on my plate.
Yeah.
But you ask God, I don't want to just have it, but teach me how to manage it properly. Because if you think that for everything that I have, it's going to take all of this extra hard work. It's going to take dedication. It's going to take being diligent, being resilient, but you also want to be intentional. That as I move forward, I don't want anything in my ecosphere that does not belong. You know, and you can be intentional about all of it.
Yeah.
You know, hey,
pilot.
I want this to be easy. I want this to be effortless. And when it's something that you just enjoy so much, it's not to say that you won't have to have long nights of doing it. My son wakes up playing chess. He goes to bed playing chess. And this boy is a self-proclaimed, look, I will be a world champion in chess.
That's amazing.
That's him saying that. That's not me saying go.
He wants it.
He wants it.
He wants it.
So he's like, in order for me to get better, I have to play.
Yeah.
And he's like, Mom, can you put me in more tournaments? Put me in more tournaments. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So that comes from within. So if you have that thing that's burning within where you're like, this is what I want to do.
Feed it.
You have to feed it. But because of the different systems, you know, you may have had somebody say, you're not going to get paid. You know, that's not a real career. You can't get paid off of that. I know people getting paid off for things that they just purely enjoy and getting paid well for it. It could be gardening. I know people that put up Christmas decorations because they just love, and they're making a lot of money because there's someone that's saying, I wish I had somebody who could do this for me.
Yes.
So whatever your thing is, don't let anybody trump your gift because it's coming from you. So let it shine, let it come out. But you want to be around people that's like, what do you need in order for you to flourish? Like, I see you. And I can see some of my friends and I'm like, what's going on? You need an out. And I provide those outings.
Yes.
You know, you've seen them all over my social media, where I just literally round up my CEO friends, the ones that are in leadership, because I'm going to give you that so that you could Continue to lead so that you can have that outlet. And everything that I do is so intentional because I know the right people that need to be in the room with certain people so that you can be on a jet ski and talking about what you're doing in your business because this person has that next, that key for your next level, you know, and they're just going to help you bring it out. They may say, oh, you know what? I know you need to talk to, you know, and that's what you need because when it's all said and done, there's so much abundance. There is no lack. If I'm competing with you, what does that say? Even if we're doing the same thing,
Right.
we can connect so that we can do this exponentially because so many people need what we have.
Yes.
So there's no competition. The minute people can understand that.
I wish they understood, but they don't, which is sad. We could all grow together, as we mentioned earlier in conversation. Like, it's no one man for one job. Even though if someone does something and it's all saturated, if everyone comes together, it'll be a better outcome because what you're going to bring to it will be different from what I can bring to it. But if we together, in the end, it could just go global. But
go beyond global. Like, it will expand lifetimes.
Definitely. Well, Dr. Kara, I really thank you for coming to sit down with me. And I am so, I love you. I'm so appreciative that you are here today. And congratulations on everything that you have going on, all your endeavors, being a mom, a wife. Shout out to your son.
Thank you.
He is the motivation behind Life with Dr. Kara, and I love it because my kids are that for me because I had my son at 17, and today he turned 17. So yes, and it just helps me realize that I have been living in intention and to be more intentional, especially when it comes to business, being a mom, and just growing through life.
I want to add one thing, just one thing. I know we're wrapping up, but for people who are out there, whatever your role is and whoever you're in that role with. So even with my husband, I've asked him, is there anything that you would change or anything that I can do better as being your wife? Sometimes people step outside of their relationship and ask somebody else.
Yeah.
But who better to ask than the person that you are that for?
That's right.
So ask even your children, is there anything that I could do to be a better mom?
Yeah. I ask my kids that. Yep.
It's powerful. Now you got to be ready for the answer.
Because sometimes it ain't going to be what you want to hear.
Yes.
I'll be like, really?
Right. But you want them to be honest. You need that.
It.
Because for each child, it's different.
It's different. And me and my son, we do sit down and have those honest conversations, even with the 5-year-old now, because I do so much. And, when I met you at first, she was like, what all are you doing? I'm running down daycare, Posh. And you're like, oh, you busy. Yeah, and I've been since every day trying to figure out how to maximize my time but still be a good mother. So with the youngest one, he likes my attention because he likes to talk. So it's like after a certain time, everything is off. All focus is on you. We're going to read, do your numbers, letters, and we're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
I love it.
So, I always try to make that connection with my children because being a young mother, like you said earlier, I never wanted to be she let her mama raise the baby. Even though I'm blessed to have a mother that really would have raised my baby. Yeah. I have to tell her sometimes, like, I want to take my baby. I want to do it. So, but, I'm grateful because I didn't have a grandmother like that, and they're blessed to have grandparents that really are hands-on with them.
Shout out to those hands-on grandmothers and mothers and and fathers and grandfathers.
Yes, because I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing, and my kids are so attached to their grandparents, and it's amazing. But, it gives me that extra push, too, because I saw the mom that I have, and I want to be that for my children. Because my mom went to work, slept in her car while we did ballet and all this other crazy stuff, and she just supported whatever it was we wanted to do. My dad, too. I wanted to play basketball. I sucked. He went to the first game. He was like, if this is what I got to do, he was a firefighter. So he would get off his 24-hour shift, take a nap, come to my school, watch me lose in basketball, and go back home.
He'd be like, but I was there, baby. I saw you.
So, it was really whatever I wanted to do. It was at, the hands of my fingertips, and which is what you stated as well. So it's just providing that life for your kids intentionally and making sure it's purposeful because you only get one shot.
That's it.
So we got to make it count.
Just give it love. Life, it's like life is the school and love is the subject, and everybody we meet and come across that are that we have relationship with, these are our teachers. Yeah. And we're that for them. So it's just a blessing. Just love people, man.
Yes. So with your brand, though, is this something that people can get into and sell themselves?
Yeah. Okay. Yep. They could become an affiliate.
Because this is a show based to help entrepreneurs, so this may be something you want to start out there. And how can they start it?
I mean, reach out. There's so many different things that we have going on. We have excursions. We have a cruise coming up next year. We have our different events. We have the monarchical chapter if someone wants to be involved in that. You can reach out on my website, lifebykara.com. I'm also on social. You have Life by Kara Official, which is my Instagram. And then, of course, Facebook. That's more personal, but you can still follow me there, which is Kara Scott Dentley. And and if they want to be a part of this and, even start promoting anything that we have, we're into stem cell technology too.
LifeWave. I'm on the LifeWave trend. And that was important to me because my dad recently had a stem cell transplant because he had cancer. So when Dr. James brought it to me, I'm like, absolutely. Because I know what that did to my father. And if we would have known what we knew now then, I think, we probably would have had a different outcome. Thank God he's still living. But that's a hard transplant to go through.
Oh, yeah.
And people don't realize that some of their stem cells do knock off past 35.
Oh, yeah.
They think they still got it.
Yeah. No. Things start happening in the body. Yeah.
So, guys, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to episode 2 with Dr. Kara. And you guys can follow her on all her social media platforms, which will be listed. Thank you guys so much. And we are out. Episode 2 is a wrap.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you so
Kara.
much.